Hi, and welcome to Social Smart, a podcast about the why and how to make good decisions about social media. I'm Agnes, and I've worked at some of the top tech and social companies in the world on trust and safety issues, education, communications, policy, and more. Today, we're diving into dangerous challenges and how brain science can help us understand them. Even if you don't have your own social media account, you've probably seen a video where someone did something risky or dangerous or crazy looking. It might look cool, and you might catch yourself even thinking, hey, maybe I should try that. Or maybe you felt pressure to join in because everybody else was doing it and you didn't want to be left out. Here's where science comes in, and trust me, it's fascinating. Science helps us understand the world and how technology works, but it also helps us understand how we work. So let's talk about your brain. There's a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, and it's the part that helps you think ahead, plan, and figure out what could go wrong if you take a risk. But here's the interesting part. That area of your brain won't be fully developed until you're in your 20s. So it makes it harder for kids and teens to judge danger in the same way that adults do. There's another part of your brain too, and it's involved with your reward system. So when you see something fun or exciting, your brain releases this chemical called dopamine, which gives you this little burst of happiness or excitement. And it's the same chemical that makes you feel good when you get a lot of likes or views or when your friends say you did something cool. Here's where things get tricky. Because your prefrontal cortex is still developing, your brain might focus more on the excitement and fun of a challenge and less on the possible dangers. This is why you might not be thinking about how you could get hurt. And this is especially true when other people are doing a challenge, because the pressure to fit in can make it harder for your brain to say, hey, wait a second, I don't know if that's a good idea. That doesn't feel right for me. You've got a growing brain, and that's amazing because now that you know about this, you can use your brain to make smart decisions. And if you're ever unsure, talk to your parents. They're here helping navigate these tricky situations and keep you safe. Let's get into some questions. Why do people do dangerous challenges? Sometimes people just want attention, or they feel pressure from others, or FOMO, fear of missing out. Studies show that social media can amplify these feelings, especially in kids and teenagers whose brains are still developing. Remember that part of the brain that helps you make decisions, that prefrontal cortex? For kids and teens, because it's not fully developed, it isn't always strong enough for them to stop doing things that are risky when the reward might look really good. If you're going to be getting a lot of likes, or if your friends are all doing it and they're going to think you're really cool because you did it too. When I worked in social media, I'd tell our teams that people do dangerous stuff because they think it'll make them go viral. This is where you actually have a special role to play. You can help build better social media by saying no to stupid stuff and not engaging or watching it. And you'll be helping kids just like you be smart and stay safe. Can dangerous challenges actually hurt you? Yes, dangerous challenges can absolutely lead to serious injuries or even death. Take the Tide Pod challenge from a few years ago. Lots of kids ended up in the hospital. Some people that took the blackout challenge, which is also called the scarf challenge, died. And I guarantee you that none of those people thought that it would turn out that way. Now let's talk about why this happens. Remember how we talked about your brain earlier? Studies show that teens often underestimate how dangerous challenges can be. The part of your brain that helps with those risks, that prefrontal cortex we keep talking about, is still developing. And that's why these activities that seem exciting look like you can do them, but the risks feel like they're really, really far away. But the physical harm, that's actually real. And it's well documented. And you look online, you can see tons of cases all around the world where people got really injured. But here's another thing to remember. The kids who got hurt or worse doing these challenges, they didn't post about it afterwards. What you're seeing online isn't the full story. You're only seeing the successful or fun-looking moments, but not the real consequences. Why do social media challenges go viral so fast? It's because of the back end. Social media platforms are powered by algorithms designed to boost content that gets a lot of engagement. Things like likes, shares, comments, and views. And when a challenge is exciting or shocking or extreme or crazy looking, it grabs people's attention quickly, and the algorithm takes notice. The more people that engage with it, the more the algorithm pushes it out to others, creating this viral loop. And this means that the challenge spreads really rapidly because it's constantly being shown to more and more people. And studies show that we're also wired to focus on sensational content, so it makes us more likely to share it. So why do these things get so big so quickly? It's the way platforms are built and how our brains respond to these challenges. Are people who do dangerous things more popular? It might seem like they get more attention, or if you're looking at views or likes or things like that, but it's usually pretty temporary. When people get a lot of likes and followers, it makes them feel like they're rewarded for whatever they did. But here's the thing, that rush doesn't last long, and the consequences of dangerous behavior, like getting hurt, can be far worse in the long run. What should I do if I see a friend trying a dangerous challenge? Well, speak up. You can make a huge difference. Research shows that friends have powerful influences on each other. Just as you can encourage risky behavior, you can also stop it. It goes both ways. So your opinion matters way more than you think. Let your friends know about the real risks and tell them that it's not worth it. You don't need to do dangerous things to make friends or be popular. What really matters are the things happening around you, your friends, your family, your school, your sports activities, and other things. That's where real connections and experiences happen, and those are worth way more than online trends. What are some of the challenges to watch out for? Dangerous challenges are popping up all the time, and they change pretty quickly. Let's talk about a few of them. There's the boat challenge. This is where people jump off of a moving boat. But think about it. You wouldn't jump out of a moving car. So why would you jump off of a speeding boat? And how could that possibly be any safer? And there's the blackout challenge, which we talked about earlier. This is the one where kids choke themselves to pass out. We also have the Benadryl challenge, where people take a lot of Benadryl because they want to try and hallucinate. Not only is this really bad for your body, could result in overdoses and seizures and heart problems, but Benadryl also makes you really sleepy. And because you're sleepy, you wouldn't be able to tell if any of these other more negative effects were actually happening. And here's one that's just really gross. The NyQuil chicken challenge. Yes, people are actually cooking chicken in NyQuil. And there's the skull breaker challenge, where you trip somebody and they fall backwards and hit their head. And a lot of people have wound up in the hospital because of it. And let's not forget the OG, the Tide Pod challenge. It doesn't matter what the challenge is. Each one of them that comes up, not a good idea. So what's the big takeaway? Sometimes things that go viral can be really dangerous. Here's the truth. Every single person who's been hurt because of a dangerous challenge never thought it would happen to them. They were just like you. You've got a growing brain and you're smart. Use it to make decisions that keep you safe. If you're ever in doubt, ask your parents. Life moves fast and social media moves even faster. You don't need to jump on every trend, especially when it could hurt you. Remember that what you see online is just a tiny snapshot. You're only seeing a small percentage of people who didn't get hurt. And that's not the full story. What you think is fire today might be cringe tomorrow. The challenge that seems so cool right now, you might find it completely ridiculous in a couple of weeks. And this is why we're talking about this, so that you have the knowledge and tools to make good decisions. I hope you learned something. Until next time, you've got this.